Hi everyone, this is Julie with Beading, and in this video I have a jewelry hack for you. So I have here a little clasp set, and I've made half of it, and half of it was obviously pre-made. So what started this whole project was I had this little lobster clasp, and I really wanted to use it in a project, but I didn't have, and I don't have on hand, a matching jump ring to use as the other half of my clasp. So traditionally when you're doing jewelry and you have a lobster, you can just hook it to a jump ring. Easy peasy. Well, I don't have that, and I want to go ahead and proceed with my project anyways. I don't want to wait until that arrives. So I decided to make myself the other little component for it to attach to. So I have this little loop that I made, and what I can now do is just attach my lobster clasp to it. So this is my little set that I made, and it's really easy to do. So what I happen to have on hand were these head pins with the balls, and these are by Nunn Design. They're 20 gauge, and they are in the same finish as my little lobster clasp. So that was handy as well. So I'm going to show you how to take one of these guys and turn it into the other half of your clasp. So first off, we're going to make this into just a nice piece of wire. To do that, we're going to just take our cutters and trim off the head. And you're going to do it as close to the end as you can because you want as much wire as possible. All right, so now we've got that. Now we're going to take our wire looping pliers. If you have round nose pliers, not wire looping, that will work as well. And we want to look at what is the midway point. Okay, so we're gonna look at it. So we've got about equal wire on either end sticking out. And we want a big enough loop that our lobster will go ahead and attach onto it easily. So if you look at the nose here, it is tapered. So here would be really small and here would be larger. So I wanna go, not quite all the way down, but I wanna go where it's a little bit wider. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that's about in the middle, and I'm going to squeeze. Okay, I don't even have to squeeze very tightly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wires and bring them together and crisscross them. Okay, so there's one, and there's one. Okay, so we've got that. Now we can take this off. And now what we need to do is we need to straighten one of our wires out. So we essentially have almost like a big eye pin. So to do that, I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, I'm going to grab it here, and I'm going to bend it. So now this is what we have. So we've got one loop, not one loop, I'm sorry, we have the loop down here, and we've got one wire straight. So now we're going to do some wrappings with our other wire. So I've grabbed another pair of chain nose pliers, and I'm going to grab my loop. Now this is nice and smooth. If you look inside here, it's not going to mar the metal. And now you can take your finger or you can take your chain nose and you're going to wrap this wire around our now straight wire. So let's go ahead and do that. This is 20 gauge wire. It is a little bit on the thick side, which is what we wanted because we want to make sure our clasp is sturdy. So if you do need to go in there and grab with your other chain nose pliers, the wire, go ahead and do that. So I find it a little bit easier to do it with the pliers because it slips out of my hands, out of my fingers, because it is a thicker wire. So we're going to want to do a couple nice wraps. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, now we can trim our tail. So you look back here, we got that tail. So we're going to come in with our cutters and we are going to trim it nice and close. Okay, now this is a little sharp piece of wire. Now you're going to want to catch it so it doesn't fly across the room. So I got that. And this is a very important part of this is now you need to tuck this wire tail end in because this is going to be on the back of your neck. It's going to be on your wrist. So you want to make sure that that is not pokey. So to tuck it in, just squeeze it with your pliers. Remember, this is just wire. You are making this work for you. Okay, so that is tucked in now. Now what we need is a way of attaching this part to the rest of our jewelry design. To do that, we're just going to make a simple wire loop. So we're going to go back with our wire looping pliers. Again, you can use round nose if that's what you have. And we're going to go right up near our wrappings. And we're going to go on the smaller part of the nose because this does not need to be as big of a loop. And we're going to squeeze and then push over. Okay, so we've almost got this. And again, if you want, go ahead and grab your pliers. Oops, sorry. Grab your pliers and take this around to the other side and make it so it crisscrosses. Now you need to trim your tail again. And for this one, it's going to be a simple wire loop, which means we're going to be able to open and close it to attach things to it if we want. So I'm just going to go right in there with my pliers, my cutters, and trim. And then there's that other little wire bit. I'm just making sure that I know where that is. I've got a couple kids at home, so I don't like to have wire bits flying across the room. Okay, I'm just going to straighten this up. And there we go. We have the other half to our clasp now. And you can even straighten this up. And it is pretty nice and stiff. This is a good solid piece. So then to put our lobster on it, there we go. So we have now a clasp set that we can use in our jewelry designs. So you can find other tutorials like this along with all the different supplies at beadaholique.com.